Hold on to your seats because today we're taking a walk on the wild side with some jaw-dropping footage of bizarre tiger encounters caught on camera. From tigers getting up close to some truly unexpected and downright strange behavior, we've got it all. Get ready to be amazed as we showcase some of the most unforgettable moments ever captured of your favorite wildlife creature tigers. Tiger attacks Jeep but fails to catch anyone. Picture this. A group of tourists on a thrilling Jeep safari in the heart of the jungle when suddenly they spot a tiger with a wide-open mouth lurking behind the bushes. The tourists quickly identify the predator and observe it for a while. But then, all of a sudden, the tiger starts running towards their Jeep at lightning speed. The tourists are left with an unforgettable experience and an adrenaline rush like no other. However, the tourists' quick thinking and fast driving saved them from what could have been a dangerous situation. Tiger attacks elephant in Dikala Zona. In this encounter, a hungry tiger was roaming around in search of its next meal. It had been prowling the area for a while, causing tourists to be on high alert. Soon enough, the tiger noticed a Jeep coming down the road and stood in front of it, not moving an inch. The tourists inside the Jeep were in shock and could hardly believe what they saw. The tiger was hungry for flesh, and the tourists were in its way. The situation was tense as the tiger stood its ground, blocking the path of the Jeep. The tourists tried to back away slowly, hoping not to provoke the tiger. Thankfully, the tiger eventually moved off the road and disappeared into the jungle. However, the tourists were left with an unforgettable experience of being face-to-face with one of the most powerful predators in the world. Tiger chase bison, Indian Gore, at the Bandipur National Park. In this encounter, a powerful tiger was spotted hunting an Indian Gore, also known as a bison. The tiger, with its stealthy movements and incredible speed, was able to chase down the bison through the park. The tourists in the park were in awe of the tiger's raw power and strength as it successfully took down its prey. After watching for a while, tourists are left in awe of the speed of the tiger when chasing the bison. Eventually, the tiger was able to take down the bison, and the tourists witnessed the tiger carrying the fresh flesh of the bison across the road. Tigers sighted in Muthanga Forest, Wayanad, Kerala. On a dark night drive through Muthanga Forest in Wayanad, Kerala, a group of tourists had an unforgettable encounter with a tiger. As they drove through the forest, they spotted the tiger in the distance, walking around and searching for its next prey. The tiger was not aggressive and did not harm anyone, but it was a sight to behold, whereas the tourists were in awe of the tiger as it moved through the forest with ease. The tiger's grace and power were on full display as it walked through the forest. Despite being around humans, the tiger felt comfortable in its natural habitat and seemed to be completely focused on finding its next meal. As the tourists watched in wonder, the tiger disappeared back into the darkness of the forest, leaving them with a sense of awe and reverence. Tiger attacking elephant at Bandhavgarh National Park. At Bandhavgarh National Park, a powerful tiger was seen attempting to attack an elephant. The tiger was hungry and on the hunt for its next meal, but when it came across the massive elephant, it was intimidated by its size. Despite this, the tiger made several attempts to scare the elephant and provoke a response, but the elephant remained calm and unfazed. Eventually, the tiger realized that it was not the perfect hunter match for the elephant and retreated back into the forest. The tourists in the park were amazed by the display of power and size as they witnessed the two in action. The tiger may have been unsuccessful in its hunt, but it still left a long-lasting impression on the tourists. Tiger, Chota Matkasar, gets angry at tourists. In this encounter, a tiger named Chota Matkasar was spotted investigating several jeeps filled with tourists. The tiger moved around each jeep, attempting to catch a whiff of its prey, but did not take any aggressive action. The tourists were nervous and excited to have a giant tiger close to them. They watched in awe as Chota Matkasar roamed around their vehicles, his powerful muscles and striking stripes on full display. As the jeep tires hit a stone, Chota Matkasar suddenly growled, revealing his sharp canines and sending a shiver down the spines of the tourists. But after a moment, he went back to the forest without harming anyone, leaving the tourists with a thrilling experience. Tiger attacks man on a bike. In this encounter, a tiger was seen attempting to attack a man riding a bike at night. The hungry tiger was likely on the hunt for its next meal, but the bike's speed and movement made it impossible for the tiger to catch its prey. The man on the bike was undoubtedly startled by the sudden appearance of the tiger, but was able to continue moving and avoid any harm. The encounter highlights the importance of staying aware of one's surroundings and being cautious when traveling through areas with potential wildlife threats. The man on the bike was lucky to have escaped the tiger's attack. It won't be wrong to say that the man had been in shock after the incident, grateful for this unexpected escape. Everyone who witnessed the event were shaken by the close encounter, while capturing the sight in their camera. National Park Tiger Attack, Bannerghatta in Bengaluru. In a thrilling encounter at Bannerghatta National Park in Bengaluru, a mighty tiger made a daring attempt to get close to the tourists in their jeeps. With its keen sense of smell, the tiger could sense its prey, but the jeeps were quick to keep moving, not giving it any chance to pounce. As the jeeps continued to move forward, the tiger made several attempts to sneak up and get closer to its prey. The tourists in the jeeps were thrilled and on the edge of their seats as they watched the tiger's every move. The tiger made several attempts to get close, but each time the jeeps outmaneuvered it. Eventually, it had to admit defeat and retreat back into the jungle. The tourists were left with a heart-pumping experience that they will never forget. Tiger tries to get in the jeep. Some tourists driving through the jungle in an open jeep spotted a tiger walking towards them. At first, they were thrilled to see the wild creature this close, but their excitement quickly turned to fear as the tiger began to approach the jeep. The tiger started taking rounds around the jeep, snarling and growling ferociously. Its piercing eyes were locked onto the tourists inside, and it circled the jeep, looking for a way to get closer. The situation took a terrifying turn when the tiger tried to hop on the side mirror with a loud snap. After a few moments, the tiger lost interest and vanished into the jungle, leaving the tourists in a state of shock. Sundarban Tiger Attack. A group of kayakers was silently paddling through the tranquil waters of the Sundarbans when suddenly, out of nowhere, a massive tiger appeared in front of them. The kayakers were taken aback and tried to paddle away as fast as they could, but the tiger was too quick and launched itself at the kayakers. The kayakers quickly grabbed their boat sticks, using them to hit the tiger and fend it off. The tiger was undeterred and kept coming back, its massive paws and sharp claws thrashing in the water. The kayakers were in a state of shock and tried everything they could to keep the tiger at bay. The struggle went on for several minutes, with the kayakers using all their strength to keep the tiger at a safe distance. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the tiger gave up and retreated back into the water. The kayakers were left shaken and terrified, but thankfully, they survived the encounter.